So I was listening to Cornette's podcast, and I didn't listen to his podcast. I listened to a clip. They were talking about the list of the 15 best black wrestlers. So Cornette and his hosts were going into it, and they had Sasha Banks like three all time. I don't think Bobo Brazil made the list, and like Bobo was like,
Corny? I'm surprised.
no, it was BET,
Oh, they were critiquing the
and they were
list.
critiquing
Oh,
it.
okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so
All
so you know, and
right.
so it was Sasha, whatever her name is now,
Mm-hmm.
CEO. She was the third, so I watched her match, and man, she's phoning her shit in big time. That's not the same girl I watched tear down the house in Brooklyn with Bailey.
Hmm.
So
I'm seeing the big cat Ernie Ladd wasn't even on the list.
no, Big Cat, Sailor wasn't on there.
Oh.
I don't think fucking Rock's dad was on there. I don't think Tony Atlas
Looks, it
was
was
on
Tony on
there.
it? No? Hmm.
No.
Did they keep it more contemporary? Was it like half current roster
It
type
was,
thing?
yeah, it was a lot more current, but it was a lot like, a lot of the newer women were on it.
Right.
It seemed to me like,
It was a DEI list.
no, but it seemed to me like it was somebody that just kind of casually like maybe he's been watching wrestling for 5 years, three
Right.
years or whatever, and just kind of like they have no idea the history of you know, because Booker T was one, Rock was two,
Kofi at
Kofi
3.
was three. Let's see here,
Mark Henry 4.
Mark Henry four, Sasha was
Sasha.
five,
JYD 6.
and
Oh,
Jay White. I
oh.
mean, I love Corny. He always, yeah, sold more tickets than JYD. Because there was a period, man, down with Watts for fucking.
Fuck, in
He
Louisiana, it
was
was all
shit.
JYD,
He
man.
was as hot as they fucking came.
Hell yeah.
I remember one time I worked with him. It was in '91. We were at the old New Orleans. It was like the Civic Center. It's down by the water, and it was Vinny Vegas. I think it was maybe even '92. It was Vinny Vegas versus Junkyard Dog, and I was going to pick him up and slam him, and I was going to go and drop an elbow on him, and he was going to move. He says, right there. He said, just roll up on your hands and knees. He said, and I'll be waiting on you. He said, and I'll headbutt you.
Right.
He says, the people are going to come like a motherfucker. And I looked at him. I said, and if they don't? He looked at me. He says, fuck you, Nash. Just do it. They'll come. And it was one of those things, man. First one they didn't come, second one they didn't come, and it's like anything else. Like who's calling the match? JYD said, "I'm calling." He said again, and they fucking got with it.
Right.
So
Yeah, he was electric, man. I'm looking at this list now. So Ron Simmons at 7, 8 Bobby Lashley, 9 Bianca Belair, Devon 10. Big E makes the list at 11, and no Ernie Ladd. I just wonder what the criteria was. How do we talk about a list without knowing what had to be
yeah,
considered
I
before you
you
put
know I
someone on it?
I
Is
saw
it
it.
money?
I saw the list afterwards. I looked it up and I thought, well, obviously how many greatest basketball player conversations do you have when people say they bring up Bob Cousy and George Mikan, Jerry West?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I watched a guy on Instagram the other day that said greatest college basketball players, and the guy was like, fuck, it was like Danny Ainge, versus Jerry Lucas. You had to pick one. And Jerry Lucas, I think Ohio State won like 60 and 61. They were the national champions. Jerry Lucas was the player of the year in 60 and 61. And Danny Ainge fucking scored a fucking layup to bring Brigham Young maybe to the Final Four. It was like wasn't even close. Yet this guy has no idea of the background of basketball. He had the greatest college basketball player of all time being Bill Russell.
Well, I
And
don't know. Would that be accurate? Bill Russell
no,
was an
because
amazing
Jabbar,
NBA player.
Jabbar lost 2 games. Jabbar never lost in that. Jabbar lost, as Lou Alcindor, I think he lost 1 high school game. As Lou Alcindor, I think he lost 2 college games. And then he went on, to win, 5 or 6 championships. I think one with Milwaukee and 5 with the Lakers. So it's just like, to me, when people say the greatest player in basketball, I always pick him. Like when it comes down to it, because he dominated like nobody else did at each level of his career. And
But there's also, you have to count an expert opinion. Like, you played basketball, okay? You were on the floor for a big college. So you're looking at things that I would only, I mean, I'm looking at what I look at as a fan, and I could strategically try to figure out who's a better player. But you being down there, you see nuances that the writer doesn't, that the fan doesn't. So you got to also look at who's putting this list together. Whatever you're talking